Biz, tell us the story behind Pickin' Boogers, which was a big street hit for you over here.
Well, Pickin' Boogers, to me, that came from my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the incidents really happened. When I was in school or when I was on the train or with the girl. So I said, I wanted to put it a way where it wasn't nasty, but it was still funny, and with a deaf beat.
Can you give some of that rap now?
Yeah. Now let me take a trip down memory lane. Back in public school with my partner Kane. When I was class clown, and he was my brother. Sitting at the desk plucking bookers at each other. Never do we work as we were supposed, cause we was too busy digging up our nose,
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. And thank you for subscribing to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I am 12 Kyle. Check this out. On this episode, we're going back. How far back you say? We're going way back. We're going back to February 23rd, 1988. On that day, Biz Markie released his debut album, Goin Off. And hey, you know the routine. Anytime we talk hip hop, you got to bring people in here that know what they're talking about. And I had to get somebody on here who knows a little bit about 1988 and the albums that dropped in 1988. You guys know him. You love him. My man Eclectik is back in the building. E, what up, baby?
What's up, everybody? It's Eclectik, a.k.a. the E of Thundera, Black by Popular Demand, a.k.a. Big Potty Kane, a.k.a. Cadillac, Eclectic Clade.
What's good, man?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here in the studio and talk about the greatest year of hip hop and one of the greatest albums of hip hop. So this is good. This is right up my alley.
No doubt. As you mentioned, man, 1988 definitively is the greatest year in hip hop. And if you follow the podcast, you will see, based on the albums that we'll cover throughout this year and throughout. If you follow us on social media, you'll see us talking about it. But man, Biz Markie Goin Off, again, released February 23rd, 1988. Let me ask you first, E, does it feel like it's been 35 years since this album's been out?
Well, for me, no, because my whole existence is like in that time frame and stops around 97. Like if you get in my car, if you hang out with me enough, you'd be like, well, he's still. But I mean, it's odd. I mean, if you think it's different for the people who lived it. So when you lived it and listened to it, it never seems that far away because this is the time frame when music was really, really good and you still listen to it. So when someone says, it's been 35 years, like, damn, for real? Because I was just listening to it yesterday versus things that come out now that's hot and say the end of 2020, you don't listen to in 2021. Right. Or damn sure not listening to it in 2023. So it's weird for the people who lived it. And if you're one of the fortunate, intelligent few that go back and try to find stuff that came out before you were introduced to hip hop music or maybe before you were born, some of it might sound like, damn, nah, that sounded like it came out 35 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I think you make a great point. It doesn't feel aged to me at all. And much like you, I've been listening to this album. I mean, I've been listening to this album all this time, but I mean, knowing that it was coming up on this anniversary, we were doing this episode. I've been listening to it probably for the better part of the last 2 weeks. And each time that I listen, I hear something different and it takes me back to 1988. So when this album came out, do you remember if you had the cassette or did you have it on wax or did you cop a dub from one of your friends?
No, I had the cassette.
Okay.
I had the cassette. I was looking for it because Biz Markie, it's like 1 degree of separation.
Mm-hmm.
What I loved about hip hop around this time was Roxanne Shante. She's the reason for the season. And I first heard Biz on the Def Fresh crew with Shante in 85,
Ooh.
84, 85.
Okay.
So that was the first time I heard Biz, who Biz was, whatever, Def Fresh crew. And so then he had his singles. So he had Make the Music and Nobody Beats the Biz in 87. So those was out before Goin Off. And he also had the whole joint with Kane and Swan, with Old Girl on it and Your Menstruation. So that was an EP, that Make the Music with Your Mouth Biz, and that came out in 86. And that had like 12 tracks on it. So I knew that I was getting Biz Markie because, I mean, I've been listening to him forever. So yeah, I had the cassette, and it was one of the things I say that I think that has the best Marley production for a complete album. But if you talk to Cool V, don't give it all to Marley.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. You know what's interesting? Actually, let me go back. All of what you said, I did not know. Like, Goin Off was my introduction to Biz. I had never heard of Biz. I didn't get the cassette initially. I think initially I got a dub from my boy Jay Fresh, and I think once I got like my allowance, I went and got the tape. Maybe a month or so after the tape was out. So it wasn't one of those situations where I ran to the record store the day that it came out. But it's interesting that you said that. So Biz, so what I want to kind of explain to people, Biz basically, what you're saying is had pretty much an EP/demo that was already out for people to hear. And then this was his debut studio album, correct?
Yeah. So Biz started off as Shantae's beatbox. And so they did the Def Fresh crew on Pop Art in 86. And then Biz had the EP Make the Music with Your Mouth Biz. And that had, obviously, Make the Music with Your Mouth Biz. And it had a 1-2-0-1-2. And it had the Biz Dance. Because that's why on Goin Off, he had the return of the Biz Dance.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was confused.
Yeah, because on the EP in 86, he had the Biz Dance. And so then he had They're Coming to Take Me Away. That was on there. And so then he brought Kane into the joint, and both of their debut albums came out in 88. But he had an EP in 86 off the strength of the Def Fresh crew and with Shantae, because that's why, even though they were on Cold Chill and Warner Brothers, the Def Fresh crew was on Pop Art. And if you listen to the Biz Markie Goin Off, he says, the magnificent record maker of Prism. Prism was the record label that the EP came on. And Prism changed their name to Cold Chillin'. So that is where all of that shit comes from.
World famous Cold Chillin' Records. Wow. Okay. So you just took me on a history lesson just now, because like I said, my introduction to Biz was this album, and we're going to get into the tracks in just a few, but you mentioned, and it wasn't, and I guess it's something that I'm sure I paid attention to it at some point earlier in life, but as I was listening to it, I was like, okay, well, wait a minute. On this album, he's got a song called The Biz Dance. Mm-hmm. And then he's got a song called The Return of the Biz Dance. I was like, and they're not the same song per se, but they are. And I was like, well, wait a minute. You're only talking about an album that's 10 tracks long, that's, 45 minutes long. So it's not, for hip hop, relatively speaking, that was a long album at that particular time in 88. But I was trying to figure out, and it came to my mind and then it kind of went away. But I was trying to figure out, well, damn, how did he get off basically two of the same songs? Okay, now what you're saying makes sense. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, because and The Return, it started with, yo, Biz, remember when we shocked everybody with the Biz Dance and make the music? They was talking about the EP. And then it was like, yo, we should bring it back. And so then that's what that is.
And that's funny because as you say that, when you look at the track listing, The Return of the Biz Dance is track 4. Mm-hmm. And the Biz Dance it says Biz Dance Part 1. That's track 7. So if you're listening on a tape, you hear the Return of the Biz Dance, and then you're like, okay, well, wait a minute. Unless you really were privy to,
because it's like they assumed you already knew. And then they was like, well, you know what? Since this is his whole album, let's also throw the original on there too. But yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, we lost Biz a couple of years ago. Left us way too early, passed away. I guess what I want to ask you is, everybody knows the Just a Friend. They know Spring Again. They know Biz, Clown, and they know Biz from his DJ days. But for somebody who, like you and me, who were there, you really were there. You really were there day one. Describe Biz. Who was Biz Markie? Because we knew that he ran with the Juice Crew. The world famous Juice Crew. But who was Biz? Who was Biz Markie? Was he just a funny guy, or was he somebody who was, a legit, star?
He started off like he was a well-known MC. Mm-hmm. He was a battle rapper. And that's how he met Kane. He met Kane battling. They battled each other.
Wow.
And they never said exactly how the battle went down, but they battled each other because Kane used to go around and people used to be like, yo, this kid Biz Markie nice, you ain't fucking with him. Mm-hmm. And Kane like, nah, I'm pretty sure I'm fucking with him. Where he at? And so but they ended up battling, and then they got cool, and Kane didn't have shit going on. Biz was already down with Shantae and Marley and them, so he brought Kane into the joint. And so even though Biz was a rhymer, he was also beatbox, obviously. Mm-hmm. And he was a funny guy. Yeah. And he took stuff seriously, but didn't take stuff too serious. And Kane got in the door because he wrote some of Biz's first joints. Mm-hmm. He wrote Nobody Beats the Biz, because Biz went to him and said, yo, I want to do a joint. I got a crazy chorus off of the Wiz, because the Wiz is a store, mm-hmm. and they had a joint called Nobody Beats the Wiz. And so he said, I want to do Nobody Beats the Biz. And he said, he said, I want to do a song that sounds like he was just doing like, and Kane was like, all right, I can figure this out. Mm-hmm. And then they got together and he said he did the same thing picking boogers because Kane helped right there. He said that he went to Kane and said, "Look, I just want at the end of the first verse, 'Hey Ma, what's for dinner?' Go up your nose and pick a winner." And he was like, "All right," and he did it. And because Kane was smart, he said, if you notice, the joints that he wrote for him, he always made sure to mention his name.
Mm-hmm. Okay, he did.
But yeah, Biz was dope because, and like I said, this is he dropped with Shantae, and if you had Shantae's stamp, man, that's all you needed. He was like the number 2, 3 person in the Juice Crew, because it was Shantae, Shan, and Biz in the beginning, and then then the Get Busy crew.
Yep,
the Get Busy crew is Biz, Kane, TJ Swan, the God, and Cool V.
Yeah, man, it's funny, man. You taking me back because like that's exactly who Biz was. Like Biz, and it's funny you mentioned that because I remember reading somewhere that Kane. Well, what I read was that Kane wrote the first 5 songs off of Goin Off, and I was like, it made me kind of. When I remember reading it, I kind of scratched. I was like, I don't know if Kane wrote all of that, but you're right. He did mention Kane's name. Probably was mentioned in every song that he probably did some writing for. But the thing about it was that Biz was so unique. Like nobody would have cared. I mean, I don't know that we would have known that back then. I don't even know when you knew that. Probably years later because we weren't privy to that kind of information. But if Kane wrote it, we didn't care. You know what I'm saying? Like we came from that era.
Well, see, the thing was, even though Kane lent his pen to the joints, it's some shit that it was more like a co-writing because Kane's not writing. I'm the Emma's at KRE.
No.
Ha. Check out this bizarre,
Right.
But yeah, if he throwing, some words together, then yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this album definitely takes us back again to 1988, the greatest year in hip hop. February 23rd, 1988. Let's get into the tracks, man. This first of all, this album, as he mentioned, produced by the legendary Marley Marl. Before we even get into the tracks, what did you think about the production, man? I love, and going back and listening to it, I remember why I love this album. This album really sounded like a hip hop album, like hip hop sounded in 1988. What did you think about the production of the album?
Well, like I said, I think that this is, on a whole, Marley Marl's best production because
better than what he did for Eric B. and Rakim?
Yeah.
Okay.
But because the beats and the sampling, it was so new, and it was, pardon the pun, fresh. It was it just sounded so different than anything else, and it was more cohesive than anything else. Like all the songs seemed to go together, and the sequencing was great.
Yeah, you're right. And the one thing I noticed in listening to it again repeatedly is that it's like you said, it's sequenced very well, and it's like one long ass jam. Like it literally plays like something that you could get in the car, drive, and just listen to it. Like there's no need to skip anything. There's no need to rewind or fast forward through anything. It was just it's a very well creative piece of work. And, much like you mentioned a little earlier, like Biz, when you factor in Biz's charisma, his sense of humor, his personality, it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. There was nobody else in hip hop like Biz Markie. And
no.
There was none after that. Maybe ODB, but ODB was like from that cloth, but I don't know that he was as talented as Biz.
Yeah, and this album, more than any, probably, if you think about it, more than any other hip hop album, maybe before or since, this is like, all right, now kids, I'm gonna get real ancient for a second, but bear with me. Back in the days, this is in the vinyl era. People, grown-ups would get together. They would have a reefer, and they would have liquor, and they would put on like Richard Pryor albums,
facts,
party albums, and they would just have a blast. And this is the closest. This is the hip hop version of that. This is a party album. This is an album that you could put on and just play, and you're gonna jam, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna jam some more, and you're gonna laugh, and you're just gonna have a good time. It's a good time album disguised as some nasty hip hop. There's some great hip hop on here.
It is,
but I mean, you have just a straight funny song kicking it off. You got a song about it's a variety show. You got shopping. They're gonna teach you how to dance. He's gonna tell you a little autobiography about himself, and then he's gonna boast about himself. Then he's gonna big up his DJ. It's an incredible piece of work.
It really is. It really is, and this album is one of many that we're going to talk about this calendar year that embody what hip hop sound, or what we call rap back then, what it sounded like in 1988. Like you can literally from today transport yourself into that time frame, into a time capsule. And again, it doesn't sound dated. This sounds just really, really, really like real good hip hop. So let's go ahead and start there with the track list, man. You mentioned it off the top, man. Picking Boogers, man. I don't think there's ever been a song in the history of music that talks about boogers in it. At least definitely not a hip hop song. What did you think about Picking Boogers, man?
Well, so now the thing about Picking Boogers is if you knew Biz Markie, you already heard it before the album. Okay. Because this dropped in 87 as a 12-inch. So this was it was at the end of Nobody Be Busy said, yo, and if you listen to the original song, at the end of the song, it's like, and next is my new song, Picking Boogers. And then Picking Boogers comes on. But this song was crazy because you got to understand, and this is very important. It's very important. This is the era where rap music, hip hop music was targeted to the youth. This is 88. There are no grown old head hip hop fans because hip hop is damn near a decade old at best. So you think 78 to 88. And so at worst, if somebody was really rocking in 78 and they were 15, they're 25. And it ain't that many people.
Right.
So
not at all.
So around this time when something like this come out, we laugh. It's funny as hell to us. So you put boogers on the basketball and pass it to your man. I mean, and what he meet a girl on the train, and he want to talk to her, but she got a booger on her nose.
Mm-hmm.
She was dressed real deaf, and her body was hooked, but that dried up booger just ruined the look. Oh my God!
Yeah,
that's a cute green mole.
Cute green mole in your face.
Before you get my number, I don't mean to dish you, but write it in your hand because you're gonna need the tissue. It's a great song. Great song.
Yeah, man. I love it. This one, like I said, it always takes me back, man, because like, and I know I say this a lot on the podcast, but like literally, there's nobody, and I mean nobody that's doing this type of music at all. And, you know, at the first couple of listens, you're laughing. Well, maybe the first couple of listens, you're probably like, man, I can't believe he said that. And then after that, you're laughing. And like, it's still funny and still creative and still good to hear to this day. So that's why, you know, one of the many reasons why I appreciate Biz Markie the way that I do. Then we move to track 2.
Now, speaking of, before you go ahead. Like I was saying,
Mm-hmm.
when he made that,
mm-hmm.
he was 22, 23 years old.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Wow. Crazy. Track 2, Albee Square Mall. A place that I did not know really existed until like years later. What you got on Albee Square Mall?
I love this song. At one point, and this is a testament to how good this album is. Mm-hmm. At one point, this was my favorite song on the album.
Wow. Are you serious? With all the jams he got on here?
Yes.
Wow.
At one point, this was my favorite song on the album for 2, maybe 3 reasons. Mm-hmm. Reason 1, I was at the around that I really can't even get to the mall by myself age.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to be at the mall and couldn't go to the mall as much as I wanted to. But when I did get to the mall, it was the greatest place ever.
Right.
And so this is the only hip hop song that's ever bigged up a mall and told you, and not just like, yo, I go to the mall. He was saying the shit that he would do in the mall. Buy some cherry for Trini and Ali, and after that, I'll go take a stroll outside the Gibbs pubs and buy some Silk Fresh Bally's. So the second reason is because when I went to the mall, these are the things that I would do. I wouldn't go buy some Silk Bally's, but some Silks and Bally's, but I would hit the game room.
Mm-hmm.
I would go to the cafeteria, get pizza and all that stuff. And the one thing that he said that was universal, it seems, security riffing about leaning on the rail. Boy, you be at the mall and you be upstairs, you just lean over, watch you looking at people, and then here comes, you can't lean on the.
Because the rails were faulty, that's why.
Man, but the fact that he was saying that, and I'm across the country like, yeah. And the third reason, the final reason, fucking TJ Swan, the God. TJ Swan with the la 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 and the Albee. Man, you gotta understand. TJ Swan then was Drake plus
Nate Dogg in the 90s.
He was the guy. If you had TJ Swan and the Juice Crew just kept him. They didn't even lend him out.
No, not at all.
He wasn't featuring nobody. So when you had TJ Swan, they was put it like this. And I will stand on this. Every song that has TJ Swan on the hook is a banger.
Oh yeah, no
Everyone.
doubt, no doubt.
But so yeah. Because,
you know what? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because I'm coming from Nobody Beats the Biz, TJ Swan on the hook, and Make the Music with Your Mouth Biz, TJ Swan on the hook. And so then I'm putting this album in. I get picking boogers, I'm laughing. And then here comes TJ Swan. So you just got to understand the sequence of events here. I'm like, oh, my man is here. So, and very important, one last thing before you go ahead and finish is at this point in life, and I've told you about the Death Fresh Crew, the EP,
right? All
these songs I've heard. Outside of the album cover, never knew what he looked like. Mm-hmm. And as I listen to this album, I still don't know what TJ Swan looks like.
I think I've seen him on posters. I think.
Well, no. I know what he's looked like now. I'm saying when I listen to this album.
Oh no. We don't know who. We don't know we know that what Biz looked like based on this picture on the album cover. But no, you're right.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea what TJ Swan looked like. I don't know what Kane looks like.
Nope. So because his album isn't out at this point yet.
Yeah. So it is, but and the reason why I bring this up is because I already know 3-4 songs they got Swan on, and I love TJ Swan. He could have been sitting next to me like, yo, you like that? And
right.
Yeah, this is dope. So that's it.
No doubt. That's a great point, man. The only thing that's wrong, if you could say anything's wrong, is that this song should say Albee Square Mall featuring TJ Swan. And I'm sure probably somewhere on some pressing it says that. They did
features back in the day.
Yeah, I know. But they should have corrected that over a period of time, man, because TJ Swan, like you said, he was the original hook guy in hip hop. And his voice was different, and he had a different level of flavor, man, that people were checking for. And again, like you said, he's singing like this and nobody knows what he looks like, because keep in mind, kids, there are not many videos, hip-hop rap videos at the time, and so these albums are coming out and we're just now getting some airplay, late night college radio stations, but not mainstream airplay at all. So these were street records that we loved and gravitated towards.
You know how much they didn't do features back in the day, or featuring. Man,
listen.
Big Daddy Kane's album came out also 88. He has a song called Just Rhyming with Biz. It's him and Biz. It does not say featuring Biz Markie. They just didn't do features. Like, right. This is my album. These are my songs. Calm down. Because of that, this is what Burnt made Kane mad, because that was Kane's first album. Mm-hmm. Kane's first album came out the same year as Biz's first album, but everybody knew Biz.
Yep.
So they thought Just Rhyming with Biz was a Biz Markie song.
Yeah.
And Kane was like, that's a single off my shit. Nobody's even paying me no attention. It's on my album. It's not on the Biz Markie album.
Right.
People was like, nah, you heard the new Biz Markie joint, Just Rhyming with Biz? Because they didn't do features.
That's right. And I mean, like, and we talked about this before in another podcast to further the point, like, even in the event of a situation like this where Kane had Biz on the album, well, they're in the same crew. So if you had somebody on your album, they were normally in your crew. You weren't going out and getting somebody outside of the crew to put on your album. That just wasn't happening. But yeah, man, I love Albee Square Mall. It, like I said, it was, and when I say years later, it was like at least 10 years later before I realized that Albee Square Mall was a real place. So you're talking like mid 90s. Yeah, I didn't know. I had no idea. But folks, it was a real mall in Brooklyn. It's since been torn down. I think it was torn down in 2014, I think. But it had a good run, man. And like he said, every single thing that he talked about, being in that particular mall was the things that we did in my hometown. The only difference was I got the leaning on the rail reference with the security guards, but in the mall in my hometown, we didn't have 2 floors. So there was no rail to lean on. So, but I saw that play out going into a mall in New Jersey. So I knew exactly what he meant by that. But yeah,
that's where Biz and Kane battled at the Orange Julius and the Albee Square Mall.
Then we get to track 3. Biz is Goin Off, one of Biz's one of the bigger songs off this album. What did you think about this one?
Dope. This was he actually had a video for this. The video for this was a takeoff of The Wizard of Oz. The Biz. But this, I love the production on this. Was it the double barrel sample? But he was rapping on this. So like the first song, it was funny, and then he talking about the mall. You're like, all right, man, you just chilling, and then he hits you with homeboys making noise inside the browse through a girl's blouse, say the funky rounds to make the girls get naked. I could turn it out with different sounds on my record, and I say, give as y'all exalt the rhythm, that magnificent record maker of Prism. Yeah, and it was on Prism.
Yep.
But back then, if you didn't have the album, the 12-inch, you didn't really peep that.
I didn't know.
But on there, there was a blue label, and Prism was written in like different colors. So
okay.
That's how you knew it was Prism.
Yeah, man. This is one of my. It's not my favorite joint, but it's one of my favorites. Biz is Goin Off, man. This is a joint, even to this day, at the time of this recording in 2023. You put it on, it's gonna rock a party. Like, you can't sit down, you gotta move. And man, I love it. This embodies again what rap sounded like in 1988. Like, this song definitely epitomizes where rap was at that particular time. Again, like you said, a banger, a true banger. Then we go to track 4, the aforementioned Return to the Biz Dance. Return of the Biz Dance.
Biz Dance.
What did you like? What did you like about that one?
Well, it's 88, kind of something straight, but 84 to about 80, about 84 to 80, 89. If you had a dance, you were nice with it. So this is the era of people coming out. This is why hip hop music is so dope, and this is why this time was so dope. You had people, hey, here's the Biz Markie dance. Hey, here's the Steve Martin dance. Hey, here's the Heavy D shake.
Shout out to the Heavy D shake.
The Heavy D shake. And you had people coming out with the dances. Little known fact, Dr. Dre and the crew came out with the Cabbage Patch.
Wow.
So
I know that.
Who was he with the Turn Up the Lights?
World Class Wrecking Crew.
Yeah, the Wrecking Crew. And so Cabbage Patch. So, but this is what makes this era so dope. They were coming out with dances because they wanted to rock the party. When your song come on in the club and they're doing your dance, when you are on the stage and they're doing your dance, they're doing this without social media. They're not trying to get views or likes. There's no mechanism in place for a viral dance challenge. It was just, the song came on, and this is what we're doing, and so. All the way up until the Humpty Dance. After that, then it kind of fizzled out. But so when he had this, and we've already heard, some of us already heard the Biz Dance because we're doing the Biz Dance in the streets. And being honest with everyone, I literally did the Biz Dance 2 weeks ago at brunch. I am not
Please
kidding.
Send me the video.
I am not
Is
kidding.
there any video of this said video?
Never see it. You never see it. This is literally what happened. I was out. I was at a spot. I was at a bar down the street from the joint I normally go to. I walked in. They was playing some song, and I just hit it as soon as I walked through the door. And so people was at the bar turned, and I was like, And so all the people was like, I hit the Biz dance. I gave him about 3-4 good Biz pumps. But
oh man, that's funny. That is funny.
I love this song. Also, and then I'm gonna let you finish talking about it. One of the best things about
go ahead.
The best things about that era, which you can't compare to this now, is they would do the song, but in the song they would tell you how to do the dance.
Yes indeed.
And you can't beat that, because the best thing about it is you're just listening to someone tell you how to do it. So everybody's interpretation of what that person said. They're like, yeah, now what you doing?
Nah, that ain't it.
Yeah. The Fat Boys had the Fat Boy dance. That was on Fat Boys Was Back. It's called the Fat Boy Dance. It was either Fat Boys Are Back or Crushing. But nah, everybody had a dance. It was a good time.
Oh yeah, and that just speaks to where we were in rap and hip hop. You know, that much fun where like you said, everybody wanted to. And here's the thing that you mentioned that, you know, I don't want people to sleep on, is that people tried to have a dance, but everybody couldn't get a dance.
Nah,
you know, people
Steady B didn't have a dance.
Shout out to Steady B. You know, I remember. You remember the Steezo?
Yeah. Shout out to Steve. Well, Steezo was really doing the Steve, but
he was doing the Steve. But some people, rest in peace. Some people call it the Steve Martin. Some people call it Steezo. And we were going back. I remember me and my friends arguing back and forth about what it should be called. But yeah, the Return of the Biz Dance, man, a dope song. It just, man, you really just took me back, because no, you had to do the dance. Like, Biz had a dance. And it's funny because I want to say over the Christmas break, I was showing it to Cameron. And he was watching some 90s videos, and he started doing it. I was like, nah, that ain't how you do it. And I was like, this is the Biz like this right here. And I started showing him how to do the Biz. And he was like, what is, he's like, he was trying to do it. He almost got it, but I was like, nah, man. I said, you got to get loose with it. You got to kick your leg out. And he's like,
your spine got to be jelly.
Exactly, man. So I'm trying to teach the youth, man. They gotta, you know, and all of this stuff, it comes back, you know, at some point, somebody's going to be doing a TikTok Biz Markie dance at some point.
And real quick, this is the last thing I want to say on this. What annoys me. This annoys the hell out of me.
Okay.
The Teach Me How to Dougie from Dougie Fresh, because Dougie Fresh also had his own dance.
Exactly.
The Dougie is not the Dougie Fresh dance.
No, it's not.
The only thing they get right is the hand over the head thing.
Facts. Yeah,
all of the other stuff is not the Dougie Fresh.
That ain't even, and you know what? And Dougie never did that.
No, and Dougie Fresh performs on the song "Teach Me How to Dougie," and when he does it live, he does the Dougie Fresh dance. He does not do what the people in the background dancers do. Because when people, I was like, but that's not the Dougie Fresh.
That's not the Dougie Fresh. That might be the Dougie, but that ain't the Dougie Fresh.
It's definitely the Dougie.
Yeah. Oh man, you're right. Bro, track 5, my favorite track on the album, Vapors. They had a video for it where Biz basically runs down his life story and his cousin and his homeboy Big Daddy Kane. And much to your point that you made a little earlier, you know, Kane is on this. Well, at least Kane is in the video. And so maybe that's why people thought Rhyming with Biz was a Biz song too as well, because, you know, of him shouting out Kane and talking about Kane's story. What did you think about Vapors, man?
I was mad at the Vapors video.
Really?
The reason why I was mad at the Vapors video was because when the Vapors joint came out, I didn't have that version of the song. I didn't have the radio, TV, and even the press. That's not on the album.
That's the part that I love, though.
Yeah, but that's not on the album.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
it's not on the album.
Yeah. I was looking at the video like, yo, what? you had to go get the single to get that. I mean, I have it now, but back then I was mad. I also like the mom jokes in the beginning, but the song is dope. And here's the odd thing. The odd thing about this song is that even though Kane helped him write it, they're both listed as writers on the song. It's one of the best story. I can't tell you off the top of the head what number it is on the encyclopedia hip hop.
16, I think. 16.
Okay, I'll roll with it. Kane does not have a dope story song in his catalog.
Are you sure about that?
No, go ahead and name it.
Hold on.
I'll wait.
I'm gonna have to get back to you on that.
I mean, if it's, I'll take you there.
Word to the motherland.
Yeah, it's not that. I mean, pimping ain't easy is not really a.
Anything goes when it comes to hoes.
No, that's not a. That's not one.
I'll have to think about it. You.
It's just.
I don't want to say you're. I don't want to say you're.
I'll put it like this.
Totally right, but I can't disagree with you. Go ahead.
I'll put it like this. If he had something even close to as dope as this, you'd be able to remember it.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I can't disagree with that.
But so he used all his good stories on Biz. Picking Boogers was a story, had 3 stories. Vapors had 3 stories. So, but no, this song was great. Also, I keep going back to the video. I love the video. He had on, I want to say it was like a Chicago Biz, like pajama top. It was a long shirt.
Yeah, it was.
And I wanted that joint so
bad. Was it the Bears or was it the Mets?
It was Bears and Mets. It was on. I couldn't really, because back then, ladies and gentlemen, we had 270p resolution on the fatback TVs, so you couldn't. You couldn't really tell the low def. But I went and looked for those joints because it was definitely like a pajama fucking shirt. Anyway, song's dope. We got a new slang word. Also, that's the era. That's how you introduced words. You're like, and you gave a definition of the word, and then you used the word in a sentence. Yeah. I was never into girls. I was just into my music. They acted like I wanted to keep instead of trying to use it. The innuendo. Oh, everything was great. Oh, in the video, the girls come in. Listen, go. Oh, it was great.
Yes. Fine chicks blowing the saxophone. I got the video pulled up. You're right. It might be Bulls. I can't.
No, Bears.
I mean, Bears. It might be Bears. I can't. Like you said, the definition is so bad. I can't really see. And much like you, I didn't like the fact that the video version of the song was not on the album, but I did, and I know you're gonna know where I'm going with this. What I did was I had to have it on a tape. So
you put your radio up to the TV.
Exactly. Recorded the video, man, and we watched this video over and over and over again, man. Love this joint, man. Love this joint. Like you said, story rhyme. It came in at number 16 on the Encyclopedia Hip Hop countdown, which you guys should be following E's podcast. He'll talk about it a little later, but yeah, number 16. I double checked. It was 16.
Now that you mentioned it, I think it was the Mets because I think he had on a blue Mets hat, like backwards.
He did.
Yeah, so I think it was a Mets.
Okay.
But I just needed that because I've never seen anybody rock something like that. And this is back when you were like, oh, okay, ain't nobody on that yet. The video just came out. They don't even know.
Right.
So yeah.
It would have been hard to find that too. Because my guess is that it would have only been in New York.
No. I found because this was back when you had the catalogs, when you had the East Bay catalog, you had the Fanfare catalog, and you could go in, and they had all the team stuff in there. And I found it, and it was, I want to say, I'm doing memory right now, but I want to say it was like $27.99 or something like that. One was like, nah, because I was gonna get the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, as I'm listening and we're doing this, and I got the video playing on the screen. The women in the video, shout out to 88, no type of body enhancements.
No, that stuff didn't exist. But the thing about the women in videos back then is they were just women. It's like whatever they put in the chicken and all the hormone stuff that's going to evolve these women into something. You couldn't put today's women back in these videos. Those videos would never get played. You couldn't put today's women in the Move Something Luke 2 Live Crew videos.
Hell no.
Nah.
Not even
these
close.
Bodies, no.
Not even close.
But no, man. I think Biz had on an El Dapper Dan joint in that video too.
He does.
Like a brown Louis. Oh man.
And he got on like 4 truck jewelry chains that seem to be kind of it might be 2 chains that he kind of wrapped around, but in a big medallion in the middle. You guys, if you get a chance after you finish listening to this podcast, go to YouTube and pull up the Vapors video, man. It's a dope joint to look at. And again, make sure you check out E's podcast one, but make sure that you check out that as he's counting down the most the top 50 story rhymes, right?
Yeah.
And that is number 16 on his list. And he's currently at the time of this recording sitting at 15. So we got more to go. So go back if you hadn't, go back and start at 50 and come on down.
Yeah.
So then we get to track 6, Make the Music with Your Mouth, Biz. And this says featuring TJ Swan, at least according to Spotify. Oh my God.
Well, of course it says the stuff now, but if you go and get the old tape cover,
it didn't say
and
that.
turn nah.
Because there's a possibility that you might be listening to it and not know who the hell TJ Swan was.
Exactly.
Man, talk to me about Make the Music with Your Mouth, Biz.
Now, this song, man, I think I want to say no. I never did the Goin Off. I never did the Goin Off episode of the podcast. I don't think I did. But Make the Music with Your Mouth, Biz, I think is my second favorite Biz Markie song.
Okay. Of all time. Second favorite of all time.
Yeah, number one.
Okay.
Number one is clearly Nobody Beats the Biz.
For sure.
Yeah, but this song is great because for a few reasons. For people that listen to him, he starts off with a 1-2 over 2 because he had that song 1-2 1-2, and that's how it started. I like to introduce myself. My name is Biz Markie. My MC name is Shan, and so he had a whole bunch of shit like that. But this song, like Beat It Billie Jean by Michael Jackson on the Treacher Street record, They Call Action. He's telling people about how he's beatbox, how he started doing beatboxing, how he's not just a beatboxer, he also raps. He when he used to do the beatbox, grown people used to be like, "Nah, what are you doing?" and it was a party, and he went by the DJ and started beatboxing. They thought it was a record, and then, man, come on, Biz. It's trying to tell people, man. Takes a lot of practice and lip control. I've been doing this since 15 years old. Man, come on. Even moms, pops, and cops say, "What up, Biz?"
Getting props from the old people.
Man, moms, pops, and cops.
And cops say, "What up, Biz?"
And one of my unique practice, be ambitious in the schooling. Anything that you want, you got to work for. People used to rhyme and still try to be like, give you a jewel or two. Be like, nah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it's great, man. It's a great song.
Yeah, man. It one of my favorite parts of the song is at the end where it's just Swan just going off. You know,
because that's the God.
Just TJ Swan just singing, man. I mean,
now,
go ahead.
You bring that up, and this is very important. This is an announcement to everyone who's listening. This is very important. Now, listen. Of all the music, I have music, but I do not have this one song. And if anyone out here listening to this podcast has this song, can find this song, and can get me this song, I will forever be your friend. I'll give you a shout out on every podcast I'm on. So, the original Make the Music with Your Mouth is, at the end of the song, TJ Swan says, make the music with your mouth, Biz. You're gonna make it with your mouth. That was the version that I had on cassette. That's the version I always listen to. It does not exist anywhere.
Oh, wow.
And I know that I am correct, though, because on the dub version of Make the Music with Your Mouth is, that's when they would just play like the first couple of words and then just let the beat go and then put the end of the bar in there. At the end of that song, they play the first part. It'd be like, make the... And then it'd be like, you're gonna... Oh, I knew it! I knew it! I can't find that fucking song. If anyone has that song, please MP3 me. Yeah.
Wow.
I've been looking for that song for damn near 35 years.
You got me, because I never heard that version.
Most people don't even peep the little nuances in the song. It's just because that was what I had. That's how I learned the song. And so when the album version came out, when they played on some kind of hip hop show or something, and I'm singing along, and I'm like, we're not doing that part. So
yeah, man, that's incredible. So you guys heard him. If anybody has that version, hit him up. You will get forever shouted out on the podcast. Then we go to track 7, Biz Dance Part 1. We talked about it a little earlier, man. Anything else you want to add about Biz Dance Part 1?
Kick your legs till your pants almost rip. Shake from side to side with your arms and hips.
Like you said, he told you how to do it.
Yeah, that's it.
He told you how to do it. Don't and teach me how to Dougie. They don't talk about how to Dougie. But the Biz Dance, he tells you how to do the Biz Dance. And
then he give you a countdown.
Yeah.
Like, now go ahead, now do it.
Man, I tell you, again, it reminds me so much of how, I hate to use the word pure, but this was rare. And I know we're fans, but I want to drive home that point. This was rare. You did not have this type of music every day. And the thing about it was, and you guys will see as you listen to these episodes, that Goin Off doesn't sound like it takes a nation of millions to hold us back. That doesn't sound like Strictly Business. Strictly Business doesn't sound like he's the DJ, I'm the rapper. I mean, on and on and on. An incredible year. Then we get to the aforementioned track 8, Nobody Beats the Biz. Great backstory that you gave about Nobody Beats the Wiz. I'm familiar with that commercial, but a lot of people aren't if you didn't live in certain parts of the country, because the Wiz wasn't a record store that was, everywhere.
Yeah, it was electronics. It was basically like Best Buy or Circuit City.
Yep. And they had a song that says, like a little theme song, says "Nobody Beat the Wiz." So he flipped that into "Nobody Beats the Biz." Wow,
Yeah,
that's crazy. You got anything else you want to add on that song?
This is my favorite Biz Markie song. I mean, I know I'm biased, and a lot of it has to do with one, the sample.
Yep. That
we eventually EPMD just knocked it out. Which, I mean, same year.
Yeah, same year.
But and they scratch in Shantae.
Mm-hmm.
So because you said you didn't know all the stuff I was talking about, that he's Biz Markie, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's the Death Fresh Crew. That's that song.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think at that time I just assumed that it was just something where they cut up a vocal.
They did of the song.
Yeah. I just didn't know that there was wow. Okay.
Gotcha, so okay, the Death Fresh Crew song goes, "I'm Shantae, he's Biz Markie," and he's Biz Markie. That is the Death Fresh Crew. So that's another reason, and that when Shantae's like so fresh, that is the Death Fresh Crew.
Wow, man, I'm learning stuff right here all the time.
But I just love this song, and of course the God TJ Swan is on the hook.
Man, this joint, I just remember, and I always go back to this memory. And it's not even a memory from listening to it in '88. I remember it getting played at a college party when I was at South Carolina State University, and you know how like the DJ just plays the beginning of the song, and it was just, when he played the beginning of the song, all you heard was yes. I mean, it was crazy, and I'll never. Every time I hear that song, it takes me back to that party where you just hear people going, "Oh!" Like we were happy to hear the song, and you just was going to jam your ass off. That's probably a close second for me.
Another thing, and another illustration is this is just my life. This is how things are. How hip hop music and this album, this song in particular, affected me personally because of this song. That year or the year after, I did my big school book report on Shirley Chisholm just because of this song. 100% true.
Reagan was the press, but he voted for Shirley Chisholm.
Because when this came out, I had no idea who Shirley Chisholm was. Nobody in school ever taught Shirley Chisholm, and there was no such thing as Wikipedia.
No.
But I listened to this song so much, I used to rap on the song, and I was in the library, and I was like, who the fuck is Shirley Chisholm? And I just went to used the Dewey Decimal System.
Shout out.
And I looked her up in the Encyclopedia Britannica. And found a couple of books on Shirley Chisholm. I read, I was like, wait a minute, it's a black woman ran for president. I did my book report on that because of this song.
Wow. Look at rap teaching the young black youth.
It used to do that. I also have a podcast episode on when hip hop cared.
Yeah, I remember that one. There was a time where you could jam and get a lesson to it at the same time, and it not be preachy.
Because he didn't say go look her up.
No, he did.
He was just saying regular. I'm like, damn, who is that? Because I know who
Reagan was.
Who the hell is Shirley Chisholm?
Reagan is the president. I voted for Shirley Chisholm. Wow. Yeah, man. That's it. Again, it takes you back, man, to just, lyricism and being unique and a unique individual at the same time. Track 9. This is something for the radio. What you got on that one, man? Love this beat.
This song is dope because they had 2 versions, and this version has the rapping. They had another version. It was just him riffing over a beat. But this one, this is just dope. But he was right. This was back in the day. They didn't play a lot of hip hop on the radio because it was hip hop.
Very little.
And so you had to have something that'll get people. You had to trick people. So he literally made this for the DJs.
Literally.
And called it, this is something for the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And this is dope.
Yeah, I love this joint, man. This is I think, well, Nobody Beats the Business is the longest song. That's 5 minutes 42 seconds. This is 5 minutes and 14 seconds. But the songs don't feel, neither one of those songs feel long. I love listening to this part because, like, I remember just listening. It takes me back to listening to my tape. And I knew that the tape was coming to an end, but it was still like jamming. Like you just didn't feel like you had listened to 40 minutes of music because it just flowed. And then the album ends with track 10, Cool V's tribute to scratching. Cool V, Biz DJ, and his cousin Vaughn. Talk about this one, man.
So back in the day, if you had a DJ, you would get a DJ song. You give him his own tribute, or he get his own song where he could scratch. And Biz did it better than most because he did both. He rhymed and let Cool V get his stuff off, so it wouldn't be boring like Chinese arithmetic.
Hey, watch yourself.
And so this is dope, and Biz, even though he started off, I'm gonna make this brief, like about 30 seconds, and he just talks about, he bigs up his DJ, and he was like, "Cool V, go ahead," and then he starts scratching. He come back. I like to tell you about my DJ. He cuts the records, and he's my protege, and let him rap, and then he comes back. His name is Cool V, and when he cuts the funky records, he gets respected, and he's an Aries. Hey, man, this is a great end to the album. I could see Goin Off being the last song. Probably would have been dope and had Cool V's tribute in the middle, but it's still, the sequence is still good.
Yeah. I have no problem with this album ending like this. And like you said, much to the format of the albums that came out in this time, the DJ got a chance to get busy. I mean, he's been, on the wheels of steel for the entire album, and you got some scratching in this album, and then you finish it up with Cool V being able to go off on the last song. And that wraps up the album, man. Like I said, Cold Chillin' Records drops. This album is Biz's debut album, Goin Off in 1988, February 23rd. Before we get out of here, last question for you, man. What do you think? And this is a loaded question, but I know you can answer it.
Oh shit.
What do you think the overall legacy of this album is? Because, when we heard this album 35 years ago, nobody told us that we'd be doing a podcast talking about it 35 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I was, at the time that this album came out, I was 15 years old. Right. So when you talked a little earlier about going to the mall, I was at the age where I could go to the mall.
Yeah, you was 15. I think I was 18 months.
You was 12.
I was 18 months, I think.
So
I was just walking, I believe.
So what do you think the overall legacy of this album is?
Well, for the people who lived it and the people who listened to it, they're gonna say that this is one of the top hip hop albums. This is it's definitely, for me, it's top 50 all time.
Okay.
I think it's in the Source Top 100.
It is.
It's probably the greatest solo album from a Juice Crew member.
Ooh, you're gonna ruffle some feathers.
Nah, it is. I think it goes. I think.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying you're gonna ruffle some feathers.
I want to say I did a Juice Crew episode where I did rank them, but I think it goes Goin Off, then like the two Coogee rap joints, then The Biz Never Sleeps, and then like the rest. And you can put whatever you want to after that. But the top 4 is Biz and G-Rap.
Yeah.
Shit, the top 6 might be Biz and G-Rap. But anyway, I think
somebody out there is yelling Kane, but
they're doing it like said, yeah, Kane. So
we can keep going though. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I think for Biz Markie fans, this is there. I think for your casual basuals, they're just gonna think Just a Friend, and maybe Spring Again.
Yeah.
Oh well, not most people, but also Let Me Turn You On is incredible, because ironically enough, Biz did not sing once on this album.
Nope, not at all.
He is known after this album for singing. But this album is one of the best. It's one of the greats. It is highly underrated by the fact of no one's mentioning it when they say, tell me some dope hip hop albums. Even tell me some dope albums from the 80s and 90s. There's not one of their, I mean, it's one of my first ones, I'm gonna say, but it's not like that. But the people that know, yeah, Long Island's greatest.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I don't necessarily, well, I think I know why, but this album doesn't get mentioned with a lot of hip hop albums. Like you mentioned, the Source's top 100. I shudder to think what the good folks at Hip Hop Golden Age think about this album. But I think, man, this album is a great timepiece. And if you watch his videos, if you listen to this album in its entirety, even if you were born in 2000, you can go back and listen to this album, and this album will put you in 1988, what it looked like, what it felt like, what it smelled like as far as hip hop was concerned. And the thing that you'll see is that it's uniquely one of one. There is no other album that looks, sounds, or feels like this album from that particular year or any year subsequently. I think one of the things that helps with Biz's longevity is obviously Biz was able to, change his career, because he went from being an MC to a businessman to then becoming a DJ, throughout his career until he could not DJ anymore. But this album is crazy. This album is something that I think, everybody should listen to, and I think everybody's going to take something different from it. But this one, man, I'll be honest with you. And I know I say it all the time, but I truly mean this. I never get tired of listening to it. Never. And I can't say that about a lot of albums. Most of the albums from 1988, I can honestly say that about, but I never get tired of listening to this album. This is a piece that I think, helps define the year and definitely help define the era. But before we get out of here, E-Man, tell the folks where they can find you, where they can listen to your podcast and all of that good stuff,
You can catch me at the hot spot on Fox. Listen, Encyclopedia Hip Hop is the podcast. There's a lot of things going on that particular show. We got the countdown of the 50 story rhymes. That's still there. We also have for the ladies, a series dedicated to women and rhyme that you might not remember or heard of or haven't heard for a while. We got things. We got the Hip Hop Awards that we're talking. We started in '84 and we're up to '88. This year we're going to do 1989 Hip Hop Awards. These are great because you can listen to them now and relive some good stuff because they didn't give hip hop awards back then. So we have that. We got Fave Fives, where I go through and say my 5 favorite songs from a particular artist. We have Record and Response, where someone did a record and someone else did a response to it. We got Fly Girl by Boogie Boys, then Fly Guy by Pebbly Pooh, and then LL did Dear Yvette, and then Yvette Money came back with Yvette's Revenge. So we got things like that. Some album reviews I got to get back to, and there's a lot of fantasy drafts with this gentleman here, where we're battling. By the time you hear this, there'll be a Run DMC fantasy draft where we're going to draft the Run DMC songs, 5 for 5, back-to-back draft. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. And also there's the Eclectic Relaxation home podcast, Eclectic Discussion. So that, a lot of 80s stuff. We're talking cartoons and cereal and TV and wrestling and all the stuff that went on when you were a little kid in the 80s and early 90s. Also fantasy drafts. So just go and subscribe and listen and comment and like and share and all the stuff that these 9-year-old fucks say that they do on their YouTube page. I don't have a frequency of when I drop when I feel like it because it's free. So if you were paying for it, I get on the schedule, but you're not. Enjoy it.
Now you make me feel bad for dropping every Thursday.
Nah, man, you're a professional.
Yeah,
I am not. This is free content and it's evergreen, so you can go back and listen to the first episode I ever did, and it's not dated. That
is so true. Shout out to MJB, the GOAT.
Death of hip hop. Death of R&B.
Yeah, all of those things. Make sure you do that. Give them your socials too before we get out of here.
My social security number is 7. Listen,
777-9311.
I mean, come on, man. Ain't nothing worse than rejection. I feel a little bitter if you slap my face. At Eclectic and Encyclopedia HH and back from the depths of hell at Tweet Rhymes Life.
Right.
I'm back. Elon, shouts to Elon. Yo, what up, E? The other E.
Yeah, that account was down for 3 years, and it came back all of a sudden.
Man, listen, man.
This dude is making some calls somewhere, man.
Tesla gang, stand up.
Man, get out of here. And folks, that's where you can catch him. I think Eclectic Podcast. That's the EDP's handle for social. And he's on IG as well. You guys know me. If you don't know, then it's too late. Time's up. 12 Kyle on socials, 12 Kyle podcast as well. This podcast, you can find it wherever you're listening to it right now. Also, there's going to be videos on YouTube. No porn. Videos on the YouTube channel as well. Remember to subscribe because the podcast drops every Thursday at midnight. And from time to time, we'll drop bonus episodes on Sundays. That's going to do it for us. Again, February 23rd, 1988, 35 years later, Biz Markie going off for my man Eclectic. I am your boy, 12 Kyle. We'll catch you guys next time. 5,000.
Like a donut.